Iceland has been in the news so much in the past few years. The financial crisis, the volcanic ash eruption. This was the perfect time for us to come and take stock. See how the country's recovered from the awful financial disaster that happened here. See the recovery, how deep, how strong, and also look at Icelandair, for example, and see its strategy, see its new routes, and see exactly what the airline hopes to do as it tries to grow its transatlantic business. There was never a better time, and we were very pleased that we were also able to spend quite a lot of time with the President and the First Lady, who showed us around much of Reykjavik. Iceland, a land of extremes. Freezing glaciers, boiling thermal springs, and always a warm welcome. Especially from my tour guide, President Olafur Ragnar Grimsson. Is the red light coming up?
Yeah, and you stop. If I have to wait at the red light, you have to wait.
Dominating Reykjavik's skyline is its most iconic building. So now time for some festive music.
Yes, it's a great tradition of choir singing in Iceland, especially leading up to Christmas. Yes, thanks very much.
To awaken the festive spirit, we are here for a private performance by the Motet Choir, a Reykjavik Christmas tradition. From the top of the church, you get the finest view in town. It's going to be brisk out here, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Well, there you can see the oldest part of the town. Why you see all these colorful houses here with the different roofs. The Reykjavik area is almost the same size as Rome.
When in Rome or Reykjavik, it's time to do as the locals do and make the most of Iceland's geothermal energy. It powers industry and its most famous tourist attraction. I'm now joined by the First Lady, herself an untapped source of natural energy.
The rest of your trip is going to be heaven.
After you, Mr. President.
We should have chosen.
Well, this is the extraordinary, almost from another world experience.
You're telling me, sir, that this is a byproduct of the geothermal?
Oh, absolutely. It was the workers who worked on the power plant who discovered the quality of the water.
Right, time for me to try it.
Go for it, Richard.
These mineral-rich waters are said to work wonders for the skin. Hold on. Weary travellers the world over seek the solace of Iceland's wilderness. Venturing outside Reykjavik, the silence soothes. Almost. Regular like clockwork. Every 5 or 6 minutes, you can almost set your watch by it. Strucker erupts. In a country so renowned for geysers they invented the word, Strucker is its most active. It explodes 30 metres into the air. While nearby, the Gullfoss waterfalls cascades 30 metres down into the Hjuvita Glacier River. The First Lady insists the essential way to experience Iceland is on the back of one of its famous horses.
So much, shut up, stop it.
Icelandic horses, famous for the fifth gait. A style of running on top of the trot, canter and gallop can carry you anywhere across this extreme and extraordinary landscape.
This is really spooky being actually on the ice, isn't it? These horses are like raw energy. How often do you get a chance to enjoy this?
Not as often as I'd like to, sadly. In January and February in the dark, it's heaven. Love it, especially if the moon is out and it's snowing. And everyone can see Northern Lights, which I hope you'll be seeing during your trip.
I've got to see the Northern Lights.
So off I went in search, deep inland, patiently waiting for the clouds to part and the sun to declare war on Mother Earth, and the northern lights to appear. It may not be the most exciting or the most vibrant example of the northern lights, but after several nights of trying, over there, yep, the northern lights are at play. And that's CNN Business Traveller for this month and for this year. I'm Richard Quest in Iceland. Wherever your travels may take you in 2013, I hope they're profitable.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Giving me the warmest of welcomes is President Grimson.
You have these extraordinary mountains, you have the sea, you have the water.
Recently re-elected to an historic fifth term, the President says Iceland's economy is returning to basics: fishing, clean energy and tourism.
We've had this extraordinary growth of tourism in recent years, more than 15% every year. The economic benefits of the tourism spreads through the economy and all over the country in a way that no other sector actually does.
This year, 600,000 tourists will arrive. That's double the country's population. These visitors are helping drive Iceland's 2.7% economic growth.
When this decade comes to an end, we might have 2 million tourists coming to Iceland every year.
2 million.
That's almost 7 times the population of the country.
Numbers which are especially impressive, considering the eruption felt around the world.
It wasn't only the economy which exploded. Behind me is the famous volcano nicknamed E15, properly known as Eyjafjallajökull Jökull. It erupted in April 2010. It led to the cancellation of 100,000 flights.
It was the biggest single disruption to air travel since World War II.
The eruption proved to both Europe and North America that Iceland is not so far away. At least we were close enough to cause all this trouble for the aviation industry.
Ironically, with the ash travelling away from Iceland, their flights were less affected than many neighbours. And the flag carrier Icelandair saw an opportunity.
Never waste a good crisis. See the opportunities in it. We started this campaign called Inspired by Iceland, and it was a huge success.
Hello.
My name is Ólafur Ragnar Grímsson.
The growth comes from a combination of visitors. There are the point-to-point passengers flying to and from Iceland, and those in transatlantic transit between Europe and North America.
So we are able to get this feed, transatlantic, to build up frequency into Iceland. With more frequency, you will get more tourists into Iceland.
The strategy is working, with Icelandair's schedule 70% larger than in 2009, and a new order for 12 Boeing 737 MAXs to replace the ageing fleet. It's the unique selling point of this North Atlantic island that it is midway between Europe and North America.
Reykjavik has a history of bringing people together. Look no further than the Hofti House, which was the scene of the summit between Presidents Reagan and Gorbachev in 1986. A meeting which is widely credited as having started the end of the Cold War. Continuing in that tradition, the government is now encouraging business executives of all stripes to hold their meetings here in Reykjavik and make use of the new conference and concert hall on the other side of the harbour.
And one of many locations where Iceland is calling you to meet in the middle.
This is absolutely what kind of is the testimony of the ability of Reykjavik to host international meetings.
And getting ready to fly you in festive style is Icelandair.
Richard, we are coming into that season, so we need your help now.
Absolutely. My help's on its way.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
Along with the world's only air stewardess choir, they've invited me to give this 757 a Christmas makeover. How appropriate! The plane's named Eyjafjallajökull, Yerkuth, the volcano that caused all that trouble. Decorating a plane's hard work. Thankfully, the Christmas menu's at hand.
La 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 la.